So, what do you want to do? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know, Brian.
Oh, gosh.
The Revolutionary War.
Of America's Revolutionary War?
There's more than one.
Well, like, multiple countries had revolutions.
Like the French... Wait.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well,
the French Revolution was like, let them eat cake and whatnot.
Yeah, that was the let them eat cake one.
That's all I know it for. I'm very impatient.
Hold on. So, Kenny. Before we start recording, you told me you had a story from high school about Snapchat, I believe? Would you like to get into this?
Yeah, okay. So...
Wait, should we introduce ourselves first? Does anyone know who we are?
Yeah, welcome to the Salt and Pepper Podcast.
Welcome to the Salt and Pepper Podcast, the inaugural episode, episode 1.
It is November 6th, exactly 8:04
p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Coming at you live.
Not live, but
yeah, sadly.
we are here to spice up your life, hence the Salt and Pepper title. So, I'm Brian.
You have some backstory to go into
that.
that.
I was waiting for you to say I'm Kenny. So it was just the waveform is just dead silent for so long.
Give us some background.
Background? I was born in the great state of New Jersey. Love it dearly. I'm a spare time vexillologist.
The fuck is that?
That means I study flags. I have that in my Twitter bio.
Fun fact for you.
Fun fact. Vexillology is the study of flags. So you want to tell your name to the class and share a fun fact?
Hi class. My name is Kenny. I play guitar.
You do play guitar.
It's pretty cool sometimes, and sometimes it's not so cool. I was born in DC, raised in Maryland. And I'm here to provide comic relief.
Oh, are you the comic relief character?
I would hope so.
Are we gonna fall into the trap where we're both just two comic relief characters looking for a straight man? I think that's the plot of the Minions movie, actually.
Damn it.
Okay. So now that people know who we are.
Oh yeah, so that high school story.
Was I right? Was it a Snapchat story?
Okay, so it's not necessarily a Snapchat story, but Snapchat reminded me of it.
I guess everything on high school is on Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going through my memories, like the oldest one I have, and I'm just opening it up, and I remember the day, because like I had skipped classes, I had skipped school in general, to like hang out with the buds, you know? I only knew one person, and that was like the real big right there. So I was hanging out in a car with a bunch of dudes.
So you're in a group with a bunch of people in a car, and you only know one person.
Yeah, that guy's
driving. It's like you're at a party, and you don't know anybody.
Pretty much.
Oh, and since the guy's driving, you can't even rely on him to help you in these awkward times.
Pretty much. So they're just talking, and I'm not paying attention. It's on my phone. And they were like, do you guys, like, eat ass? Or, like, not ass, like going down there in general. So, like, I have this very, like, vivid clip of me recording, because I knew, like, once I heard that, the conversation was going to pop off.
This is the clip you were recently reminded of.
Yes. And so I'm looking at the clip, and the only thing you hear is the radio going off, talking about some type of debate, and then my friend goes, I eat ass like I'm a fucking dog. And I'm just like, oh. And that's it. And I actually sent that clip to my mother.
You sent that to your mom?
Yes, I did. I
can't even imagine how a mother would react.
I showed Shauna this.
Not Shauna! Oh, I love Shauna. I hope Shauna listens to this. Do you think Shauna will make it this far into the podcast?
Possibly not.
Can we rely on Shauna to make it 5 minutes in?
Right.
So how did she react?
It's like, I'm at that point where it's just like, mother knows I do bad things, but she doesn't want to believe that I do bad things.
She's a mom in denial.
Right?
Oh, poor Shauna.
It's like she sees you, like, in college, you know, living up the college life. She's like, Kenny, what's in those red cups? I'm like...
Apple juice, Mom.
Apple juice and cider, come on. What do you mean?
Apple juice and cider would be a bit redundant to drink together.
Apple juice and cider?
Yeah, because cider is just party or apple juice?
Wait, what?
Like apple cider? Isn't that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so are you talking like putting apple juice and cider together in the same cup?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Just pick one.
I want the best of both worlds, okay?
See, but you don't even like apple cider that much.
I like cold apple cider.
See, I love hot apple cider. And have you had hot apple cider yet?
It's one of those forbidden fruits, like the pineapple and pizza argument. I never had pineapple on pizza, but I know I won't like it.
I have had pineapple on pizza, and it's bad, so I can speak from experience. No, but hot apple cider is the superior way to drink apple cider. I can understand where you're coming from. Like, I'm imagining like the same feeling of drinking hot orange juice.
Right.
Like it's a similar vibe, but no. Hot apple cider is very good, and if you want a nice fall beverage to get you in the spirit of the season, hot apple cider is the way to go. There's a special time of like October 1st to November 30th. That's hot apple cider season, baby. The second December 1st comes around, we're into eggnog season, baby.
I was going to bring that up. It's November. Like, where's the eggnog?
Nah. You gotta...
forget Thanksgiving.
I will say that, like, it's okay to, like, start thinking about Christmas, but you can't start drinking eggnog yet. I know there are some people who are like, Christmas doesn't begin until it's December 1st. We need to give Thanksgiving its due time. But I believe Thanksgiving is just the warm-up to Christmas.
Pretty much.
Like, you can't have two that major holidays right next to each other.
Right.
The end of the year is very compact with holidays.
And 9 times out of 10, like what we end up doing for Thanksgiving, like carries over to Christmas, is just revamped for the holly jolly.
Yeah.
Like the same dinner is there, like it's all big and hard, and everybody comes.
I know some people they do the Thanksgiving turkey, but then there's the Christmas ham.
True.
Does your family do a Christmas turkey?
Like no, I mean it's turkey, but it's not like this is the Christmas turkey, you know.
So what does your family eat on Christmas? Like what is your Christmas meal? You have all your family together. We're post presents. Everyone's been catching up. It's mealtime. What do you guys have?
We have turkey and ham.
Okay.
We have the good old mac and cheese, not that fake stuff like the ones that the layer cheese on top and the paprika on top. You know what I'm talking about?
So you guys don't do like Stouffer's mac and cheese. You guys like make it real.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
My grandmother at Thanksgiving dinner, she would always make Stouffer's mac and cheese, but it would still be very nice, and the meal would be amazing nonetheless.
They will also purchase like pound cakes and stuff.
What's that?
You never had pound cake?
Oh, pound! I thought you said pallet cake.
Oh no.
Okay.
Pound cake. And like my grandmother gets it every year, but nobody eats it, and it's just like her, and it's just like
sad.
Yeah, it's just always sitting in like the corner of foods. Like if you have a table of like all the good foods, like far off is like the stuff that we wouldn't mess with. Like my cousin bringing the vegan mac and cheese, like we'll put it over there. Like it's quite sad to look at.
Did your family have a kids table?
Yes, of course. Okay. Yeah, necessities.
So I only vaguely remember the kids table. Being that I guess I am on the younger end of my family, so I didn't have the years of when I was an older child and I got to look down on the kids who are still sitting at the kids table.
Right.
But yes, my family did have a kids table, but it wasn't like a tradition like you see in some shows. Like yes, when you reach a certain age, you get to sit at the adult table.
Nah.
I think it was just our parents would be like, okay, whatever. We don't feel like setting a whole second table.
Right. You had the big family table and whatnot, and the kids' table was like, it was always themed. Like, it couldn't just be like a smaller table set off to the side of our bigger table. It was either like, little Einsteins, Monsters, Inc., and the chairs were always like, the very small ones with the 4 stubs and no backrest. Yeah. So you're just like slouching over, and like over time your back starts to hurt, and it's not a good time.
But then all the adults say you have young bones, so you can deal with it.
Nice.
Were these themes of just like whatever adult got at Party City?
Much.
Is that what it was?
That's how it felt. And like they were always very, I wouldn't say dirty, but like it was stained, obviously. So like it had like aged orange juice on there, but like if you wanted to get that off, you have to get one of those painter things that you scrape Just, like, you
A
just...
chisel?
Yeah, like a chisel. Yeah, it's kind of like a chisel.
Oh, like I've used them.
Yeah,
Because I have been on projects where I was left with the scraping responsibility,
Right.
and I would always get sidetracked and be like, "How's that scraping going, Brian?" And that is still burned into my mind this day. So I would call it a scraper, but I'm sure there is a real name for it.
Right. Did you know a spatula isn't a spatula?
I'm sorry.
Like,
So like, there's the spatula of like what you imagine SpongeBob using, but then there's like the plastic spatula that bends that you use to scrape things.
I did not know that was a spatula. Like,
I knew that.
I didn't know until last year.
Is the SpongeBob spatula not called a spatula, or are they just both spatulas?
No, the SpongeBob one is not called a spatula at all.
Really?
I forgot what it's called, but my stepmother was going over to me. She's like, "Kenny, that's not a spatula. This is a spatula." And she pulled out the little, like, you know, they use it to get cake batter off the sides and stuff.
I would call both of them a spatula. I think a spatula is just any stick that has like a rectangle at the end.
Right. Used for cooking purposes.
Yeah.
Did you have like cooking class in high school?
So I could have taken a cooking class in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I did not choose to take a cooking class in high school. I had friends who like would use a cooking class as their like elective credit every year just because it was easy. But I did not take that because I was a choir boy, and that was my elective credit.
I had food and nutrition for my senior year, and I thought, like, it's easy my senior year. I'll take that. I was really excited actually because like sometimes they would have like dedicated weeks and days where we'll cook food in class, and like instead of going to the cafeteria and even the trash cafeteria food that we get, we'll have food from there.
Thanks, Michelle Obama.
Fucking voice.
Can we shout Michelle Obama out? Because I think she definitely needs the clout from us. We're gonna help her out,
right?
What do you think Michelle Obama's up to?
Honestly, I don't like her.
You don't?
I don't like her.
Do you like her exclusively for the fact of she ruined your school lunch?
Yes. No, she ruined all the snacks on our vending machines. Like you know, white.
The thing is, that's not controlled by the federal government, where like she even held a position to.
She advocated it for it.
Yeah, she was an advocate, but like, there's definitely other people down the chain that you could have yelled at to fix it.
Not Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. I need to stop kicking the desk. I'm gonna move my legs away.
But yeah,
a whole wheat Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah,
is not good. And like whole wheat Doritos or like whole grain Doritos, it's not good.
Yeah, it's like it's not terribly bland to the point where I'll spit it back out. I won't finish eating it, no way. But like, it's just it's not the same. It's like having Kellogg's Frosted Flakes and then like Frosted Corn Flakes. Like you taste the difference.
It's like having Cinnamon Toast Crunch and then having Golden Grams.
Exactly.
No, Golden Grams and Cinnamon Toast Crunch are completely different cereals, and I will die on that hill.
You ever had bag cereal?
Like
without the cardboard cover, but just in a bag?
Yeah, that's typically like the cheaper cereal. Or like you're buying it in bulk. My mom's done that before. She will buy cereal in bulk just because my brother and I would both really like cereal. It's harder to pour, and since it wasn't a bag, I would eat less cereal because it wasn't as inviting.
Right.
So, like if she bought the boxed cereal, we'd go through it too fast. But if she bought the bagged cereal, it would last too long in the cupboard and go stale. So there's no happy middle.
Right. Another thing, on the take of cereal.
This is a cereal heavy section.
Yeah. So like your cereal to milk ratio, how's that looking? Because like people would make cereal for me and like they'll give me too little. I like to drown my cereal a little bit in milk. Not like excess milk, but just like enough to fill up to the point where, it's on level with my cereal.
Yeah, well, it's hard sometimes with certain cereals because some cereals float and other cereals don't.
Oh yeah.
So Frosted Flakes don't really float.
Captain Crunch floats.
So I will, so like for Frosted Flakes, I will pour in cereal and then I'll pour in the milk up until there's just like a couple flakes still poking out.
Yeah.
And then that's what I think is getting all stirred up a bit, make sure all the flakes are sufficiently damp with milk.
Right.
For Captain Crunch, I will use the method of putting my hand over some of the cereal to hold it down as I pour milk in through my index and thumb.
Right.
So like I'm pushing the Captain Crunch down into the milk as I'm
to get a
pouring
good estimate of how I'm doing.
Yeah. So that way I don't just have like a bowl full of milk and then just like a cloud of Captain Crunch floating above it. And when I try to stir it in, Captain Crunch falls everywhere.
Right.
Because you need to maximize the bowl for as much cereal as possible in the morning. You eat breakfast commonly?
I do not, honestly.
Neither do I.
It seems like a chore. And like I'd rarely say that about eating food, but that's what breakfast is to me. It's a chore.
My body's not hungry when I first wake up.
Pretty much.
And if I were to eat breakfast, I would have to wake up earlier to give my body time to become hungry.
Yeah.
But I would much rather just sleep in and then eat after my first class.
Pretty much. And then I feel bad for seeing all the... you ever see those Cartoon Network promos where it's like, cereal's the number one meal of the day, and, to do good in school, you have to eat a good... Like, I'm just looking at those. I'm like, I don't eat...
I'm not sure...
I feel like they was targeting me. Like 11-year-old me was like, oh no, man.
I would try to eat breakfast before like high school or middle school, just because I wouldn't be eating until lunch whenever it was scheduled. So I'd at least try to have like a little protein shake or something. Maybe not a protein, but it was like...
I was like, yeah, how old are you having protein shake?
It wasn't protein. It was like this juice, but it had like a lot of vitamins in it. It was like, it was super juice. It was creamy, and it was like strawberry banana flavored. I have no idea what it would be. I'm sure I asked my mom if she could tell me because she would buy it for me. They didn't have it at our local grocery store, so she would only get it when she went to Walmart. But when she went to Walmart and got it for me, I'd be having a good week. I'd be on top of it.
Right.
Because I had my super juice in the morning.
Also, when I was a kid, you reminded me when you said protein shake. So I was a kid. The doctor thought I was like very malnourished and like, I was like an abnormally skinny child for my age. And
to be fair, you are a scrawny
lad. But they thought it was like a problem. So they put me in something called Pediasure. It's
yes, I've heard of Pediasure.
Yeah, little kid milkshakes, but it's like full of protein and stuff. And they cost a lot. Like they cost a lot. Like they're very pricey for like, I think you can get like a case of like 8 and it'll run you up to like $10. I'm like, oh my god, that's insane.
It's not cool.
And like they're really small, like Danimals, Danimals.
Oh, they're only Danimal size?
Yeah.
That is not enough for a grown boy's breakfast.
And I was on those for a while because I was scrawny. They didn't work.
They didn't work
at all, as you can tell.
You're still stiff. Yeah. I don't know. You could have bulked up and then got taken off Pediasure and then reverted back to a stick. And it was like, you just didn't feel like paying for the Pediasure.
You're watching Nick. We'll be right back.
Do we want to talk midterms?
I can't even...
How about instead of talking about the specific politics, we can talk about all the people on our social media yelling at us to vote. I think that's a more fun topic to...
Because when I woke up, I didn't realize today was the voting day. I knew it was soon, but I didn't know. So when I woke up, and like the first thing I do is check my phone and get on all my social medias. I'm like, Snapchat, all right. Instagram, all right. And then I hop on Twitter.
Twitter was terrible today.
Yes.
There was nothing of substance. It was all just people yelling at you to vote. And being as a person who voted very early in the morning, who had already gotten the task out of the way, and still being yelled at to vote by everyone and their mom, it was quite a nuisance.
Right, and then it's just... Oh yeah, and then the phone call at lunch today.
That was very strange.
I got called by a man. I don't, the IUP faculty or student body government. I don't remember his position at the school.
That's weird.
But yeah, he's like, yeah, are you Ken? He didn't call me by full name.
Are you Ken?
He's like, are you Ken? And I'm just like...
I don't think
the rest of my name not on the paper. Like,
maybe he just assumed you go by Ken because he saw Kenneth and was like, who would want to be called Kenneth? He must go by Ken. Completely forgetting that Kenny is also a nickname of Kenneth.
But yeah,
no. If someone's name is on a paper like that, you should just, especially since he didn't know you at all, call them by their actual name, and don't assume anything.
Exactly.
But you can.
That was crazy. I've never seen that before. Like calling me out, like, "Hey, we noticed you didn't vote. Are you planning on doing that sometime today?" Like guilt tripping me, like, "Hey, we know you didn't do it." No, yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten any calls from any political organizations. To be fair, I did vote promptly, so maybe they're like, he voted. We don't need to hunt him down.
Oh, brain blast.
Brain blast.
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron coming in.
Come on. Think. Brain blast!
Right? Yeah, I forgot how old I was, but I can get like a raw estimate. I was fairly young when Barack Obama was campaigning. My aunt, she's like,
you would have been a little less than 8. I guess you would have been 8.
yeah. And my aunt, we call her aunt, just Auntie Renee. I don't know what Renee stands for, but it was just Auntie Renee.
Is Renee not a actual name?
No.
No?
No.
I know it was someone named Dene with a D, and that's their actual name.
Yeah, but she was helping with the Barack Obama campaign, like making calls and stuff.
Oh, okay, like phone banks and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew people who did that with Hillary Clinton.
I had a quote-unquote job at one of those. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
I thought it was going to be something serious, like I had to answer the phone.
Oh, and you were ready to
Yeah.
You were ready to be a part of the Obama
I was hyping my
coalition.
8-year-old mind up. It's like,
I'm gonna put the first black man in office. Let's go.
Right, basically. All I did was plug in dead phones. Like the phones that they were done with, like, I don't know why they weren't using like landlines that would never run out of batteries, but they had like actual like phones, and I had like give them fresh phones and plug in the dead ones, and I'm like, this is very inconvenient. Why would we be doing this?
Yeah, that doesn't. Huh.
I didn't understand.
I guess if there are like home phones that like just have a little dock, you can just like stick to your wall and it charges like that. My family has that kind of home phone, but
I believe they were all the same. I want to say
they might have just gotten like a
corporate phone or something.
Yeah, or like a buying in bulk discount of phones.
Yeah, but that's how I helped put Obama in office.
To be fair, that someone did have to do that day. Like that's not a job that could have gone without doing.
Right.
You might remember being more helpful than you actually were that day.
Again, my just 8-year-old mind, I'm hyping myself. I'm helping Barack.
Obama's gonna come up to me and thank me for all the good work I did.
Just like naming awards that I don't even know the meaning to at that point in time. I'm gonna get the Purple Heart Award.
The Purple Heart Award.
The Transformers will return after these messages. We now return to the Transformers.
Let's talk about ghost shows.
Ghost shows.
Yeah, like, did you ever watch Ghost Adventures as a kid?
Honestly,
or I guess you could still watch Ghost Adventures. There's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, I wasn't into like ghost shows. I watched a good amount of ghost movies, like
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
I almost said Paranormal Society.
I don't think Paranormal Society. I keep saying society.
Paranormal Activity. I'm so sorry I put that in your brain.
I know, and now I just can't take it out.
Do you just want to restart the podcast?
Honestly, yeah. Since back to page 1.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, yeah, Paranormal Activity. I don't think that counts as like everybody's seen that.
I was on a sleepover. I was probably in 5th grade. It was like all the boys in my class. We're at this one kid's house and we're like, we're gonna watch Paranormal Activity. Ooh, and like each night, you know how it's like night 1.
Yeah.
It's like, it always happens on night 2. That's when the spooky things happen. Nothing happens and night 3 rolls around. It always happens on night 3. Here it comes. And I think his mom made us turn it off before anything substantial happened. Oh my god. I did watch a fair amount of Ghost Adventures in my youth.
How did that go? Did you ever really like?
It's all like it's a ghost hunting show on cable. Like,
what did you expect?
Like, I did have a girlfriend at the time in 5th grade. I know.
Big baller.
Big baller coming at you.
She wanted all your Crayola crayons.
She was. Dude, I had that 64 crayon with
the sharpener
I
on
was
the back.
about to say that. She was all over it.
Digging it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but she was really into the supernatural things. She had convinced me she was a gypsy. And we would watch Ghost Adventures sometimes together. And she'd be like, "Oh, this is crazy." And I'd be like, "Yeah, this is fake." And she got very mad at me. She was like, how did you say that? And I was like, "Oh, I'm not saying ghosts are fake. I'm just saying this is fake."
Yeah.
That didn't end well for old Ryan. I was in the 5th grade doghouse for that one.
So, Cheryl, if you're listening, my boy Brian wants you on his
Cheryl.
That was her name.
That is not her name.
Honestly, like, people with, like names that sound very professional, like you're giving that at birth. So, like, imagine calling, like, a 3-year-old Robert. Like, I don't know, maybe it's the way you say it, but, like, I hear Robert. I imagine a strong man in a suit, and I'm just a 3-year-old bab. Hey, Robert, like, I think of Boss Baby.
Well, Roberts typically go by Bobby when they're younger.
Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby. Well, my father and my brother are both Roberts. My father goes by Bob, and my brother goes by Rob. It's very. My dad did go by Bobby in his youth,
right?
But my brother was always Robert until I think high school and college. His friends started calling him Rob. I'm sad because my name's Brian, and I don't think there's any real nicknames for that.
Yeah.
There's no.
I chat with Brain, but that's it's not like
it's not shorter. It's not like easy to say.
It's more like a play of letters than it is like sound wise. Not very.
I had this kid in my elementary school would always call me B-Dog.
B-Dog?
And it was just,
I thought that could be applied to so many names.
It was so cool. It was B-D-A-W-G, so that's how you know I'm straight up hood gangsta.
We in here.
We are getting this bread, as the kids say. Well, we were talking about ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We got into the long discussion of nicknames.
Nothing's more interesting than names, you know? Does your name have any meaning?
Kenneth? Yeah, I actually looked it up in the, one of those good old like Christian name searches or whatever. Okay. Yeah. And I was just reading it off and like, yeah, because everybody's doing it in my like elementary classes or whatever, like looking at our names and stuff. I'm like, whenever we're not doing cool math things, looking at our names.
Cool math games.
Yeah. And my name meant, it was like some very, it wasn't me basically, it was like, Kenneth is a handsome devil. He'll snatch your girl and he'll charm you.
Wait, hold on.
I kid you not.
Is this from Urban Dictionary?
No.
This sounds straight. This sounds straight.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's there too. But I swear, like, in the Bible, like, it describes Kenneth as somebody is handsome. I swear to you.
Okay,
I swear to you.
The Bible might say a person named Kenneth is that, but it's saying all Kennys are.
Oh yeah, of course.
A devilish man who's gonna steal your girl, as the Bible would say.
11-year-old me with my snagging $2, you got a hole in the middle of this.
Wearing animation.
Yeah, that's me. Handsome.
Literally no muscle mass.
I'm just smiling, hearing handsome echo in my ear.
Hey girls. I guess you'd be. Hey girls.
Right.
You want to see my Transformer collection?
I felt so good that day.
My name is of Celtic origin.
Celtic?
That's Irish.
Oh, okay.
It means dark stranger. Which I don't think could be farther from the truth. If anything, I'm a light friend.
Oh my god.
Kenny, if you could not die on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll stop that right now.
I really want this podcast to go well. So, if you could take it a little more professionally, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll cut this part out. But, yeah, so back to ghosts. I do like the ghost show, BuzzFeed Unsolved. Have I forced you to watch an episode of that with me yet?
No, you have
Oh,
not
but
said
I
it.
have shown you the clip of, hey there, demons! It's me, ya boy! Which is easily the most quotable line from that show. And I feel like I've ruined it for you. I've shown you the best moment.
Right, and now it's just like, anything less is just trash.
They're a good group of ghoul boys on that show. I enjoy them.
You know, in some of these shows, I don't know how they just, like, materialize, like, entities, like, they're like, oh yeah, it's a 4-year-old girl. She died in here. And I'm just like, what? Where are you getting this from? And it's going through, and like, Ellen, if you're here. I'm like, Ellen, did he tell you it was Ellen? Like, Ellen! Ellen, if you're with us. If you're with us, give us a sign.
Can you turn on the light, Ellen?
And then, like, they'll see something like, they're like being in a school, like they're down the hall, like 20 feet. They'll be like, you see that shadow move? And I'm just like, I'm just squinting and pausing and rewinding, trying to see what they saw.
Or like, it's just like,
Ellen! Are you there? Was that your sign?
did that knock even... Okay, I think it came up. Okay. Because that bit would have made no sense.
If they didn't hear the knock.
Yeah, the knock was the vital point for that bit.
Oh yeah, recently you did the top 30 ghost counter for
the top 31 ghosts for Spooky Month that made it 6 ghosts in until I got bored. I didn't promise spooky content, and then I never provided more spooky content. That is exactly what happened.
Right, what's that iconic green ghost on Ghostbusters?
Slimer.
Slimer?
Yeah.
On it, he scared me to death.
Were you with us when we were at the Halloween store and there was like a Slimer statue?
No, I wasn't.
That Slimer statue is the thickest thing I've ever seen. Like,
damn Slimer, you think?
like literally, like
with 2 C's.
there was he was half butt. Like it was just so much. And I don't remember him having a butt in the original Ghostbusters. I think he was just sort of like a slimy blob.
Yeah, like kind of like a tail, kind of, not like a
Yeah, it was like a point.
A little stub. At the end.
Yeah, I think maybe in the 2016 Ghostbusters. There's like a scene he's like bending over. It's just like Slimer, just like wow,
ooga,
ooga.
Like you remember Baby Brent from Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs?
Oh my gosh!
I want Slimer just like bending over.
So I'm upset that he's like a grown man.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with American Dragon, Jake Long.
Here we go. Back to American Dragon, Jake Long.
We're gonna talk about that Ted Cruz Happy Halloween tweet. So, if you didn't see it, it is a tweet made by Ted Cruz, and the caption is Happy Halloween, with a picture of some writings that the Zodiac Killer put out.
Who was never caught, by the way.
Yeah,
right?
he never was caught. So the theory is that Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer. That being, he looks like some of the police sketches. Zodiac Killer.
God damn it.
So you saw this tweet. I think I retweeted it, so you already saw it through my feed. What did you think of it?
So it was surely distasteful, but
really
like
distasteful.
it's like I want to be like, oh,
Would
yeah.
it be distasteful if it was from anyone else? Like if I were to make that joke, I'd be like, Happy Halloween. Watch out for the Zodiac Killer because he's still out there. Is that distasteful?
No, not at all. It's just about position. It's just like
knowing who you reach.
Yeah, you got like if you're in that position, it's like you got to try to appeal to all demographics and whatnot. So I don't know, but like what it's even funnier to me. It's just like the reactions of like people who are like, this isn't funny to the Zodiac Killer families. And
Zodiac Killer victims.
Yeah, not the Zodiac Killer's family.
Actually, the family of the Zodiac Killer is like, nice, representation in media finally.
Right, but you know, the victims' families or whatever.
I think that's a load of garbo. Like,
yeah, I was just like,
I think,
who are you to speak up on these other people?
like, I'm happy to see good old Ted recognize the joke, kind of embrace it.
Right.
Although to be fair, of course, now that meme is dead. Now that it's mainstream, if you will, it has got the Ellen treatment basically. But you know, it went out with a bang. A nice Happy Halloween tweet by Ted. But yeah, you could argue there were some social justice warriors really going off in their replies for that. Like, how dare you?
Yeah, because if you looked in the
think of the victims.
The Twitter feed, the very first comment was like, I don't know if this you trying to be funny or anything, but this is very insensitive to the victims' families and everybody else involved in the incident. Okay, and it's just like, I'm just imagining the warrior, this complex in my head. And I'm just like,
do you think any of that was just headhunting because he's a prominent political figure and people disagree with him politically, so they're like, let's take him down. He did something slightly edgy. Honestly, we got him, boys.
I don't even know, because I feel like because at some point in time, like I'm scared myself to do stuff like that. I'm like,
really?
I have to think about what I post. And like,
your 15 followers are really gonna get you.
Yeah, they're
gonna dox me.
They're gonna find my address, and then my mom's gonna get death threats.
Okay, I'm gonna tweet your address out later today. Or tonight, but get 'em, boys.
Yeah, currently the one sex bot following the
song. Sex bot.
Following the song.
I wish I could remember the name.
Shout out to that bot, by the way.
Shout out to the thought bot. Have you ever fallen victim to any thought bots? Even like when you were little and like some Skype thought bot message you and you're like, not a little girl, oh god. A girl wants to do the diddle with little.
Start off young. But
grooming.
No, actually when I was older and I was like very surprised. I was like, I didn't fall for it as a child. I fell for it like a year ago.
Are you serious?
Yes, because like
I need to know the story.
Yeah, it was over PlayStation 4.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, they were having
bottom PS4.
Yeah.
Like, how'd you get here?
Yeah, I was like, you guys are like, you're learning. Like what? Like how'd you get on this platform?
I thought you guys were still on Skype.
So they were like, hey. I was like, hey, and like, you know, they had no trophies, no backpack scans. Like, it was very kind of like sus. Like, you're a new account. This doesn't seem right. And she was like, hey, and I was like, hey. And like after a while, I was like, you're a bot. And she's like, I'm not a bot. What are you talking about? I was like, whoa. I'm like, whoa, this has to be a person.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like, because
you fell into the trap.
Yeah, I was like, they're so complex. So it's like, how can you tell?
I think you just like fell into the perfect like lineup of messages.
Yeah, I think that was like pre-programmed and like.
Wait, so like,
I legit
once
said, like,
it sent you the link, you were like, no.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, it took me to this weird cam girl, pay money. I was like, nah.
I remember when I found out that it was like a network of bots. Because I remember like I first got a bot on Skype and I was like, what the hell is this? Why is this thing sending me porn accounts? And then I realized like I got like 2 more and I was like, oh, there's like a system going on here. And like I'd have friends over and we'd like talk to them.
Oh my god.
We'd laugh. It'd be a grand old time.
My friend, who was like, he was starting off the whole computer science stream of mine way before me, like back in middle school, whatever. And like that's when he was learning code and stuff. And he had this bot. I don't know if it was like a physical machine that did this or if it was like a program in his phone or computer, whatever he used to type me back. Because we were using Kick back in the day.
Oh, good old Kick.
Right? Get all the dudes on Kick.
Like, honestly, it was Snapchat before Snapchat.
Pretty much. And he had this bot. So like, whenever I would text him, if he wasn't there, the bot was there. And it was named like Alexandra. And like I thought it was just him, but like the more I started thinking about it, the more I was like, this is a full-fledged bot. Because I would type something and instantly I would get a response back.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like some like yes, no. It was just like a full thought out paragraph responding to what I just said, but very quick, like within a snap. Like he had no way to type it that fast. I was like,
what it would send back that makes sense, or like
somewhat. It was Because then again, I was young, and it's like I wouldn't ask any complex questions.
You'd be like, hey,
Alexandra. I was like, and it got to the point where I was begging him to let me talk to this bot more. I was like, go away.
Was this like a learning bot that would like pick up on things, or just like?
I think so, but I don't know.
That's very complex.
Yeah, I was like, how did you do this?
Did you hear about Microsoft? They made like a learning bot, and they gave it to Twitter that people could like instant message and would like learn things from like what people would say to it.
No.
And then a bunch of people started like talking to it about like really edgy stuff, like saying that Hitler did nothing wrong to this bot. And then like the bot started tweeting these things, and it just it was real bad. There's this YouTuber, internet historian, who made a video about this, and it's very funny. He does a lot of good stuff. I think you'd like an internet historian. I think you'd get a kick out of him.
An all-new Phil of the Future is next on ABC Kids. Woo! It's showtime! The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody is back on ABC Kids.
So I watched a video this morning, because you know, it's election day, about libertarianism.
Oh yeah, the Gary Johnson party.
Yeah, and which is basically what, you know, they stand for.
They're all about freedom. That's their big thing.
Yeah, and it's like, I like the idea of it. I really do. Like, that sounds like something I can be really down for. But then, like, to have that type of environment with, like, the government not really involved and, like, us doing us and things, it requires, like, a high IQ society. So, you know, all, like, the... Just the ones that really make you question, like, how they make it this far. Like,
I think any government that's being led by just one driving principle is bound to fail in other aspects. And I do agree with the libertarian on some.
Like, it sounds
issues,
peachy and good, but
it's like, ooh, all freedom? That don't sound so bad. But then like there's other things like, well, we need some of these programs.
Yeah. Because I remember they're like, oh yeah, if we had that, we wouldn't really have like certain welfare.
Yeah, and like Social Security, that kind of.
Yeah, there's like, they're like get rid of everything.
It's like those people we saw that were like handing out buttons that said taxation is theft, and I almost threw hands. I didn't actually almost assault someone. For the record, I was just a little salty.
Taxation is theft.
Oh my gosh,
that was great.
I was so upset.
Just watching you like grind your teeth, be like, jackass.
I actually like. I believe the exact words were "fucking jackass."
I didn't say it at the moment, but I was like doing the whole dad bit in my head. I was like, should I touch him? You okay, Chad?
Hey, do you want the door open or closed?
Everything all right? How you feeling?
Let's talk about what the voting process was like today. So I voted at 10:45, as we already established. I'd gotten out of class. I went and voted before I got lunch, and I was in and out of there 10 minutes easily. And I'd say
10 minutes.
Oh yeah, 10 minutes, easy. It wasn't like less than 10 minutes. Is what I'm saying.
You got you.
How long do you think you were there? I probably would say probably the same.
It was definitely in and out though. Like, I walked in, waited behind maybe one person, which was like 2 minutes, if that. And then like she's like, "Here you go, take this paper. You know, when you're over there, you know, bubble in, know what you want, and then tick off the end piece." And I actually almost forgot to tick off the end piece before I put it into the thing. I was like, "Wait, sir."
Did someone really go like?
Yes. Like he said it once, I didn't hear him because I never seen somebody talking to me, and he said it louder as I was putting it in. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
I'd taken it off, and while I was walking to the machine, my professor, who was helping the ball, said like, "Hey, did you rip off the bottom?" And I said, "Yeah, I already did." So I wonder if they're like told to check with everyone beforehand.
What if I would put it in the bottom was still there? Because they're talking about I can just trash it.
Well, it's sort of like a Scantron machine, what they have.
Yeah.
I do not know the inner workings of these machines, but I imagine it would cause a fair amount of problems. What I do want to talk about, though, this didn't happen when I was voting. When I walked into the building, it was just other students who were there for classes and whatnot, just kind of milling around. And I was just sort of looking for signs to point me where to go,
Right.
which I did eventually find. When you voted, there was a group there sitting in the lobby handing out pamphlets
Correct.
of information. I think it had information on Tom Wolfe, correct? Or Bob Casey.
Honestly?
You still have it? I'd be curious because I did not take one because I was sort of I was a little shook seeing them hand out these things.
Yeah, I do have it. Yeah, here you go.
Ooh, it's IUP student power. Were these the people who who messaged you or?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think they're like their own separate.
Okay, so they have the Senate candidates and the governor candidates. Oh, that's interesting. They list all the lieutenant governor candidates. Interesting. This is weird. Yeah, so they have governor, Senate. This isn't all that helpful, honestly.
I'm just like.
Yeah. So. Oh, yeah. No, this is straight up. Yeah. No, this is very liberal.
You might say it with like disgust.
Well, so the reason I'm saying it with disgust is because I don't like the idea of people just handing out things to influence voters
As they're going.
as they're walking into the polling.
Yeah,
they're in the building of the polling place, and you weren't there when I asked my professor if this was allowed, because I know in other states, I used to live in New Jersey. As I said, I was born there.
Yeah.
Now we are both residents of Pennsylvania. In New Jersey, you can't even have like those little road signs for like, let's say Glenn Thompson for Congress. You can't have that within like a certain distance of even the polling building.
Got you.
Let alone people inside the polling building handing out pamphlets. So
What about like wearable philia? Like,
yeah, so I am wearing my Glenn Thompson shirt right now. I was not wearing it at the time, but I think you can wear anything as long as it's not too bad. I
like saying, "Hey, vote for this guy."
Yeah. I do not know the specifics of that. I doubt any polling person could say, "Hey, you have to take off your shirt."
Before you get into.
Yeah, I don't know. That because I'm sure there are people who've done that because people wear political clothing. But when I asked my professor if that was allowed, she told me they can do that as long as it's 10 feet away from the room that the polls were in. So there was that gymnasium that you were voting in. So they were down the hall and in the lobby. So they were well more than 10 feet away, but still just a minute walk away. And you have to go through that lobby to get to that gymnasium.
Right.
Unless you're taking like a weird back hallway to get to it, which I would get lost in that building trying to do. So that seemed a little uncool. Especially, I was curious to see if that pamphlet was just like, here's a basic outline of what each candidate is for law students. But that pamphlet is straight up, look at all these good things this candidate is doing. It doesn't even mention Glenn Thompson, who is the incumbent for our district's representative, which is very weird to me. Because it mentions the other Senate and governor candidate. And is this an IUP specific pamphlet? Like, is this made by an IUP organization, or is this just like a College of Pennsylvania?
It says IUP student power.
Yeah. Like, there's no IUP student who wouldn't be able to vote for Glenn Thompson. It's not even. That's so strange to me. And it doesn't even have state representative for the state legislature, which is one of the 4 things we were voting on. Which that seems like a weird thing to omit, especially since the person running for state legislature in our district is an IUP alumni. So you'd think that would be the big. They would be like, "Hey, vote for an IUP alumni." Right. Yeah, that upsets me. I just like that, and I don't think that should be allowed. And my professor did agree with me. I said, I walked up to her, and I was like, is that allowed? And she's like, yes, but I think it's ridiculous. I was like, perfect. Which is, and she is very liberal, as she has made clear to our class. And she still thinks it's ridiculous, even though it is liberal pamphlets. I wouldn't even call it liberal. It just, it omits candidates, but it is definitely promoting the liberal candidates.
Yeah.
It's poorly made. I think that's my conclusion on it.
It definitely is promoting the liberal ones, because as you can see here, it's like...
It has all check marks under Tom Wolfe and all X's under Scott Wagner.
Exactly, and it's just like, oh yeah, this guy right here, he supported the House bill to cut out 23 million people. And I'm just like...
Although, to be fair, if you're anti-Obamacare, you might see that as a good thing.
Yeah.
Which, that seems like a weird policy to stand your ground on.
Yes.
Although, to be fair, I did not know Scott Wagner's voting history, so maybe he's voted. I don't know what has Scott Wagner done in the past. Is he even a former politician? Does it say? I doubt it. I think he was like. Oh, I think he's like co-owner of some waste company in Pennsylvania. I don't know, when I say waste, I mean like garbage trucks. I think that's his background. So he's a businessman, I believe. I might be mixing him up with another candidate who was on our ballot. So Kenny, is there anything else we want to talk about? I think we made a fair amount of progress.
Some good headway on episode 1 of
I would say this was a successful inaugural episode. Kenny, do you wanna plug anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button at the bottom of the video, and don't forget to go ahead and add me on my personal Snapchat.
Ooh, are you promoting your Snap?
My personal Snapchat at KSnowQC. Again, coming at you live at KSnowQC. Shoot me an invite, I add back, let's be friends. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you for listening. I'm Brian. You can follow me on Twitter at b_doy_doy. Again, thank you for listening to the podcast. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube, and hopefully soon to be on Google Play.
It's a wrap, son.
It's a wrap. Let's get out of here.